Only it was all easy to set up. Am I live right now? Google. Okay, I'm live. Cool. All right. Back to my channel. And I need to open up the chat first. So, hello everyone. This is Dennis Saliba on Bachelor Jaguar. And in today's video, I will be doing an interview with Sharon Hensley. Now, Sharon Hensley and I, just a bit of background information before we start the interview. Sharon Hensley and I, we've met each other before. I'll give you a wrench. Here you go. You can have a wrench. Hold on. There you go. Sharon Hensley and I go back to around August last year. Now, Sharon's pretty familiar with the manosphere. She's, she's had some issues in the past with some of the MGTOWs, but she's fought off MGTOWs. She's fought off another group of people that I won't name, but she's fought off another group of people. And she even approached me in person and has had the decency to support me also in my time of need. And Sharon's one of the people that has also had my back when I needed it the most. So upon talking to Sharon, we've discovered that there are some very interesting ancestral connections between her family and my foster family. And today we will begin uncovering that. So I will give Sharon the link and then we will get the show started. Also, with regards to my live streams, if you are interested in downloading and mirroring my videos, you are allowed to do that. I do give you permission to download and mirror my content. My content is available for free. If you do choose to give donations through PayPal, I always welcome that. I do appreciate that, and that money generally goes to my tech expenses to help improve the quality of this show. That's always appreciated. Okay, so link through the Discord and into here. And also, before I start, I will also share this channel. So it's good to see you. I think you may have to call Hangouts in my email. Says Sharon, I can't hit the link. Oh, that's right, because you're on your phone. Okay, that's fine. Give the Discord links out first so that way people get it. And shell your stuff. Okay, over here. I'll include this. Okay, hello.
I'm here.
Cool. So, hey Sharon, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Look, one dislike already. Boo! One dislike. Fuck them. Who cares? So, Sharon, I want to ask you a few questions just about your journey with the red pill and how deep your ancestral ties go, because like you and I, we both have had suspicions that our ancestral ties are somewhat connected to the deep state. And this indeed is a very, very heavy topic. And there's a lot to unpack.
It is very deep. It goes much deeper. People presume, it's like, wow. I'm a Hensley, and I already knew in my past that a descendant from the Mayflower of the Hensley, off the Mayflower, showed me proof in my grandpa's church in Florida that indeed the Hensleys were on the Mayflower, and they got with the family of Pocahontas, actually.
Yes.
The Indians. And I confirmed all these things with my family about, I guess, 3 months ago, then today, that yes, I am Cherokee, Powhatan, I'm Blackfoot, Shawnee, I think 2 more. The Hensley and Hudsons are tied in with your family.
Yes, correct. And for as a disclaimer for my viewers on my channel, my foster family, because I am adopted, I'm one of 4 that are adopted. My foster family does come from the Hudson line. They also married into the McKays as well, and they are Scottish. It's a bit of background there. So you're saying that you definitely are part of the Mayflower family. Can you tell me more about the Mayflower family?
I know I was about, oh God, okay, I was very young. I think I was about, again, 14, 15, somewhere in there. We were in my grandpa's church. The guy was there. He had actual journals that date back to his descendants and out the Mayflower, again, Hensley, Hudson's, and a possible Hendrick or Huckle, 3 H's, obviously. Um, Basically, again, they got with the family of Pocahontas. I'm not sure if the sister or cousin, it was someone in the family. Um, the Hudsons, I can't remember again, where they migrated to, crap, can't remember now. But the Hensleys, of course, stayed in Virginia.
Mhm.
And I found out last month, a little tidbit that it's very possible, 95% possible, I am in relation to Patsy Cline. The
Yes.
singer Patsy Cline
Yes.
was not named Patsy. Okay. Um, YouTube has the actual video of her house being a museum, and they had definitely confirmed her name was not Patsy, it was Jenny Hensley.
Mhm.
Um, Born in Virginia, and my aunt told me this morning that it's very possible that we are with her in relation because, again, Hensley's go back to Virginia from the Mayflower. So Hudson, um, tied in with the Hensleys. I'm also 95% sure I'm also Scottish Hensley. My aunt told me also today that there is a crest, in my name, my family's name, of course, that is Scottish.
Mhm.
And to her, it does confirm my passion for Scotland, Scottish people.
Which indeed is the because I don't have the thumbnail up now, but I will have to upload it later. Which is the it's like the red background with the golden tree, and
Hmm.
then on the royal crest, it's got like the knight on top with the red and the yellow bannering.
Because yeah, the MacArthur, one of the MacArthur, I believe, according to my aunt, was discussed as a child. Um, that I am tied to Scottish,
Right.
so we are still, my aunt and me are still working on this project to figure
Yes.
out more. But it's amazing how much Dennis has found on my family with my story. These puzzle pieces not together yet. And
Mhm.
yesterday it was like, wow, because it explains my family history to the Masons, my
Yes.
grandfather, my child abuse,
Yep.
the hell I went through there, 10 years of my life. And it's all there. It makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
it's horrible what happened to me. So people don't understand. They think I'm just bitching about my child abuse. They don't understand how deep this shit goes
And
with
that
the
indeed,
Masons.
with when coming out about things like see, I when coming out about issues such as SRA, as they call it, or the satanic ritual abuse, that these things are often very organized and very, very systematic. And not only do they try to gang stalk people and shut down the person who was the abused one, but usually these groups of people also work in concert with other groups of people by proxy to then turn them against you, manipulate you, and make you question your sanity, which is
Yes.
definitely one of the characteristics of gang stalking, at least under an unofficial legal definition.
Yeah. People think that maybe I'm trying to defame Freemasonry. It's not that I have the agenda to hurt anybody else of their opinions of Freemasonry.
Mhm.
It's what happened to me. There's proof.
Mhm.
Um, I don't condone. I don't condone it from what I've been through. Um,
Right.
my grandpa passed away, and when he did, my mom and me went through his grandparents' room, through the shoes, the clothes, whatever, and boxes, and their desk they shared together. The one drawer had a mason ring, and I said, "What is this?" I was 18 at the time,
Yep.
and mom freaked out. And she's a daughter of my grandfather. We had no idea, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And a mason, and more digging into the shelves, and there were journals.
Hmm.
He had hid back in this place that had a lock, and mom had a hammer and busted it open, and we're both shocking and we're crying because there's here's the whole thing people don't understand. Even people that know me, supposedly they think they know me so much, they don't. um a journal that my grandfather was a mason, um since the 50s, and the whole group. I had no idea. My mom had no idea. It explains why my grandfather hurt my mother, my aunt, and my cousin. And of course, I'm the baby of the family. It was me last.
Yeah.
This high priest man, the guy was named, I believe it was Adam or Aaron, made a statement to my grandfather: in order to be the high status, you must do a sacrifice,
Yep.
or the abuse. And it said virgin child. I was, of course, a virgin
Yes.
at 6, obviously, 7, and or a sacrifice. They told my grandfather they must either kill me. I
Yes.
guess I cannot. You can't coat that kind of crap. Kill me or abuse me. And he abused me for 10 years, from ages like almost I was 7 to 17. Um, so to get that high rank, he abused me. And but it's been a pattern
Hmm.
since the 50s, because it was my mother, my aunt, then of course my cousin, and she's much younger than I was.
Yes.
So I was almost 7. My cousin, I believe, was 4 or 5,
Hmm.
a lot younger than me. And she was so scared by him, of the threats, that she just didn't tell anybody in the family. I had no idea.
Hmm.
And I'm the other child of my mother in the family. It's my cousin, it's me as females.
Yes.
So um females are used in these rituals. The females are used, they're called sex kittens.
Yes. And this goes back to they call it beta programming, beta sex
Mm-hmm.
kitten programming, which of course is connected to which these documents are declassified as well, by the way. The CIA
Yes.
mind control monarch programming, as well as the Montauk project.
Well, you got the 5 grooming stages that does
Yeah.
prove that they'll get you to trust them,
Yes.
they'll brainwash you, they will pay you off, they
Mhm.
will groom you. Grooming, at that time, I had no idea what it was. I was little. Okay, here's the whole thing about the strawberries.
Yes.
My content of my channel, I explained my first channel I had on YouTube. I explained my whole abuse story. My my thing in the 80s was strawberry shortcake.
Mhm.
You all had probably GI Joes, whatever. Um, I had that. I had Care Bears and I had My Little Pony, but
Yes.
strawberry shortcake was my thing, and I loved her. That was my happiness. And one day, my grandpa and me went to the either a Hardee's or Arby's. It was Hardee's. I had a strawberry milkshake. Okay, a strawberry milkshake and the doll was a technique to groom me.
Mhm.
Um, what people don't understand is what you love as a child, it's used against you in
Oh,
grooming.
definitely, definitely, yes.
Yes. So that it bought me the doll, being a good girl. I had a good report card in school and wanted to reward me. He told me this doll was my only friend I'd ever have in life. And that was, of course, the disgusting lies to groom me. The buckle in my seatbelt, he buckled me in. His hand grazed my chest, my breast, as 6.5 years old, and buckled me in the car. And then his hand grazed down to my lower area, and I froze. And it's just that day had changed me. The milkshake and the doll was forever just banned in my life, because it's like, it's horrible that you reward someone, but you groom them, and that's the whole tactic. He
Yes.
knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, because he's a Mason. He was taught from that club, or his office club, whatever he called it back then. They teach the men that you must sacrifice an animal, a human, or virgin blood. There was the word sexual something. So yeah, I was abused. And make this very clear, people that make fun of me. I was not raped. Thank the God I was not raped. I was not raped. I've had rape jokes against me. Never raped. So, and I'm very happy and lucky I was not raped, because that's just, as a child, no child should ever experience this. And I've been a target of rape jokes, and I kind of
Right.
now have just ignored it, because I had been healing. I bought the doll at Target in the cup, a strawberry shortcake. I took back the power from my grandfather, and
Now
people ask me that.
you've mentioned before that your grandfather used a doll to try and control you and gain trust. Can you tell me more about that particular
Yes, that was
practice?
the doll he gave me in the van that day of my seatbelt being, of course, strapped in. Again, that doll, he told me in my ear that that'd be my best friend, my only friend my whole life, and that I'm a good girl, and good girls get touched like this. Good girls accept their grandpas. I love my grandfather, so I trusted him, and he used this against me as a tool.
Right.
When my abuse came out in the public, actually my brother out me out to the world, actually, and I was forced to come out. I came out, and when that happened, I now realize a lot of things now that make sense, because back then I had blocked it in my head. So it does tie in with Masons and the abusing me, and my mom, my aunt, my cousin. The women again were used, and when he died, I thought, thank God, can't ever hurt me again or nobody else. I have heard rumors of other girls he's touched or
Right.
possibly raped.
Do
So
you have contact with these people, or do you?
my brother's girlfriend, yeah, my brother's girlfriend um has told me that he did grab her,
Right.
never raped her, but he did
Right.
touch her areas, more of sexual talk, verbal sexual abuse
Right.
talk,
Right.
dirty jokes, dirty words. To me, as a Christian girl, oh, you're a bad girl, you're a bad Christian girl, this is what girls get. Or if I
So he
was a good
gaslit
girl,
you. He was gaslighting you in order to
yes,
make you question your sanity when really there
yeah,
was, I guess, some kind of other agenda behind it, especially when you look deeper into the rituals, the witch coven codes, and
yes,
some of these code names, because because some of this was uncovered. If you guys don't know about the Pizzagate scandal, basically the emails of John Podesta and Hillary Clinton were leaked, I think, around sometime 2016, if I'm not mistaken, and they uncovered different code names like pizza with Pizzagate, pizza, don't touch the pizza, pizza means boy, And they had all these other codes for like one for girl, one for mixed race, one for white, one for dark skin, and so on and so forth. It was a legit pedophile code. In one of those emails from Hillary Clinton, and many videos have covered this. One of the emails said that we will go out at this particular time and we're going to sacrifice children to Molech.
Yes.
From the John Podestas. Now, I'm not saying that your particular instance is as high up as that. The point is that these kinds of stories have been uncovered before in the truth movement, and hopefully it's not too much longer before these stories are uncovered.
But also church, because see, they all assume only Catholic. It's not just Catholic. I was a Baptist growing up in my family, and the churches, mine and my grandpa's church, both knew what happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
and they covered it up. They wouldn't talk about it. I had no help. The church did know. My grandfather was actually a high deacon in church,
Right.
and had a lot of money.
Now,
And he paid.
with church, to make just to get my head around it, is this like a Baptist branch or a
Yes,
Presbyterian
Baptist
branch?
churches. Yes.
Okay.
Baptist
Okay.
churches. Yes.
All right.
My grandfather is very well known in Clearwater, Florida, around town, community, very high ranked person. His money went to the church. They had the whole pavement of the parking lot redone and the roof, and he paid for all of this. And they never knew how he was. Double life. Only Masons are going to disagree and say no Mason would hurt a child, or no, it's not. That's not true. Masons do hurt children. They do things, people, and only it's a cover up. They're going to cover up and come bash me, and I'm like, why? It's the truth. And the ring was there. My mom and me found the ring. There's journals, and my aunt told me this morning that he was a Mason.
Right.
And his own Baptist church did not know this. It was kept from the actual family and the church. So my father, mother did not know. And I, of course, didn't know as a child. So it unraveled when he passed away. Now the questions were like, oh my God, we know now what's going on with Sharon, her behavior, being quiet and distant, not talkative very much. She was, that was me. 10th grade was my last year in high school. I got my GD, the Cosmo School, actually. And the abuse was so bad when in high school, I left high school. My teen years were just messed up, but it happened.
Going back to the strawberry word, now strawberry shortcake, and we've both found this from it was actually part of a grimoire. Now you've said that you've checked that strawberry shortcake is indeed a code word for a particular witch's ritual, and I'm going to read a quote from here. So, symbolism of the strawberry. Now, this is from this image here, which I'll provide in the chat. There it is there. And you said, and we've both uncovered that symbolism of the strawberry. Now, with these codes, usually what they do is they use double entendres, or they use this as above, so below concept to communicate something subtly without actually directly saying it.
Right.
And I find with these particular symbols, even in the symbology of not the crests per se, but more so in the churches and some of the lodges, I'm not saying all of the lodges, some of them, I believe that there are more than, it's not only the Masons. So I'm not saying it's only the Masons. There could be covens involved, like other covens. This is basically the symbolism of the strawberry. It's a symbol of vitality because of its bright red color. There was an odd belief that eating plenty of strawberries would ensure a long life. It seems that this old wives' tale, as often the case, has a basis in truth. Recent research shows strawberry anti-carcinogenic properties. There is also a strong Christian symbolism associated with the strawberry plant. The three parts, and you've said again that this symbolism is connected to the 333, when you were attacked by a being at about 3 o'clock in the morning. You are were you the first of the three children, or you were the
The third one, yes.
you were the third one? Okay, so this kind of connects to the 333 symbolism. The three
Yes.
parts of the leaf are emblematic of the Holy Trinity, and the white flowers stand for the purity of the Virgin Mary and the innocence of Christ. The fruit of the strawberry has neither thorns nor pips and is eaten whole, thereby representing the good deeds. The red color symbolizes the blood of Christ. Where strawberries grow at the feet of the Virgin in religious paintings, the plant canaries of all of the meanings. Now, in the Seneca Indians, because the Hensleys apparently had families that actually settled into the Finger Lakes historically under the genealogical record. And you've
Correct.
confirmed this. You've confirmed this. And
Yes,
this
it
is
is
when
from
the
this.
Indian connection connects to this particular symbolism,
Hmm.
which is it's an interesting connection. It is an interesting connection. Now, the
Yeah.
Seneca Indians, as I read on quote unquote, the Seneca Indians of the northeastern United States associate strawberries with spring and rebirth because strawberries are the first fruit of the year to ripen. The Seneca also believe that strawberries grow along the path to the heavens and that they bring good health. Now, when we've talked about this with regards to witchcraft, um, it also meant something along the love and offering. Um,
Yes.
you confirm this with another YouTuber that is sort of around the manosphere,
Hmm.
and I don't know if I was she claims that this is also consistent with some of the witch coven rituals. Can you
Yes.
tell me a little bit more about this? You don't even have to name the content creator's name.
Um, she told me that what I had talked to her about today, that was all true. The strawberry shortcake sexual act, the
Right.
strawberry being symbolic is definitely true. It's used as spiritual, but also it is a definitely Wicca thing.
Hmm.
Strawberry pie is a love. Rebirth would be also my mother having my two brothers, and then of course I'm the last one.
Hmm.
So the mother being a mom, that is it's birth, rebirth. It's a whole new start. So it's my brothers and of course me.
Right.
So I'm the third child. So it does consist with all of this, she said, and with the my family, with
Mhm.
the abuse and the targeted hate campaign against me. I am definitely red pill content, and there is a lot of this.
Right.
A big connection, a big old bubble. There's like divisions, but one big bubble that explains how I am, my behavior, what I've been through, and it's just wow. And what you uncovered, it does make sense. She said, so it's all true. It's all true, according to her.
Right. That particular aspect of the ritual is
Mm-hmm.
true. Now, to give, and I don't want to be too um, staunch about this, I do want to look up the. Funnily enough, it actually came up under Sources Urban Dictionary. Yes, not the most credible source. I get it. I get it. But it does talk about strawberry shortcake as a sexual act,
It is true.
which again does have connections back to these Wiccan practices. So
Mm-hmm.
I will read this out now, Sharon. If there is a triggering, please let me
I'm
know.
okay. I'm
Will you
cool.
be okay
Trust me,
with
I'm
this?
cool.
All right. Now, the strawberry shortcake. Shortcake. The strawberry shortcake is the act of the male partner ejaculating onto the female or the male partner's face. The male then punches his partner in the nose, mixing the sperm with the blood. And that's from the 5th of January 2012, which is consistent with at least that Wiccan part of that ritual. not necessarily the Freemasonic, but nonetheless interesting symbolism.
Yes, it goes with me. The oral act. I did not get punched in the face. You know what happened, but the thing was
Yeah,
the connection with me, and that they might want to know why is because when my grandfather held me down, I couldn't move. Uh, he had his tongue flickering to make me think that he would orally do that to me.
right.
And he kept calling me strawberry shortcake. It's okay, strawberry shortcake. It's okay, strawberry shortcake. You're my little girl.
So the
That's what
behavior
happened.
itself was indeed
Yes.
odd,
Yes.
odd
Oh,
and quite
definitely.
symbolic.
That's my grandfather. It's a church man. It's my grandfather. Like, of all people who I respected and I admired. And I'm like, why is he doing this crap? And I couldn't move. And
Right.
he was grabbing me on my parts and kept calling me his little strawberry shortcake. That was his name for me to groom me.
Mhm.
And it's definitely all there. It's a big tie. And the more I'm unraveling all this in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, it makes sense because of the doll, the grooming name against me, his tactics, behavior. The church had no idea what's going on with the life of my grandfather, and I couldn't, of course, tell anybody. So, who would believe me as a little kid when I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, he's got money. They all give him respect, but no one knew. No one knew how he was. So, double life.
Right,
Um,
right.
it's
Um,
crazy.
Now, with regards, because like a lot of the chat's obviously pretty cynical, and I get that this is a pretty natural reaction. And again, the purpose of this stream isn't necessarily to point to the Masonic. I might even retitle the stream, but I would say that this is it's just Sharon's testimony on the red pill journey, regardless of how good or how bad it is. And do you plan on taking any of these people to court? Or have you thought about trying to take these people to court?
I have spoke to a lawyer, yes, and
Okay.
the number has climbed up now to 85 people. But
Right.
it does cost money and
Right.
time and a lot of patience. And right now, I have on hiatus of issues and my reasons why I've not gone to court yet. I'm getting more
Mhm.
information. It's
Yes.
coming in, and knowing how I am a good person. I don't want to go to court over this. I don't want to go to a circus, but I have been slandered and distressed. I have been through the ringer, had my income affected. My kids were affected by this. They got to my personal life. I
Mhm.
made a lot of mistakes
Mhm.
by defending my personal life, made it worse. But in my eyes, it was in my heart the right thing to do. Yeah, I made some mistakes, but I learned how to deal with things properly more, to vent, to not be triggered, how to I don't know, calm myself down when I see
Right.
things that might trigger me. Um, when a coordinated hate campaigns against you,
Right.
um, and the abuse came out, it was hard because I mean, I had dealt with abuse, my own family that betrayed me, communities after me, people trying to, like they got into my personal life and they called the cops on me and CPS on me. It was just all at one time. So my defense was defend, defend, defend. And I had good intentions, but it backfired on me. And I
Well,
learned,
you think this group of people, again, unnamed, I don't want their politics over here, um, that they were doing this systematically in terms of their behavior. You
yes,
suspect this was
um,
systematic behavior?
high
And there
top
was a
MGTOW
group of
people told me
about
this.
10 of
Yes.
them, give or
MGTOW,
take.
MGTOW people had told me that they believe it was a coordination, it was a coordinated hate campaign, and they attacked me. So
Right.
it was actually not like, oh, by accident. There was a lot of passing that back and forth information about me and my family
Mhm.
and my kids, photographs. There were things that were encouraged to do against me, um, like bullying in shifts. If one went away, one came back to bothering me and my kids, and they kept coming at me. And again, I had the intention of saying, please hear me. I'm not lying. I want to be left alone or support my cause. And they damaged me. But I'm stronger than I was. I have gained a lot more friends, even in MGTOW, that do respect me because I've
Uh,
learned to
mhm.
refrain from things.
But that aside, you do, well, you have confirmed that at least a couple of these members, I don't know about all of them, were indeed connected to some kind of coven or something.
I believe their behavior, how it was coordinated, was definitely a coven act. I think that
It
their
was, so
behavior,
yeah, you believe that they're part of a coven. Do you know the name of this coven, or are you still investigating it?
not yet, but their behaviors do cry out certain things. Yeah, it's there. I
Do you
can't
think
pinpoint 100%.
do you think then this coven is connected with a sponsor or some kind of proxy agent?
Yeah, because
Possibly.
you have like what I call the head snakes. It's more than one person. There's heads, well, yeah, a bunch of head snakes and in a group. And they all feed from one another, and they encourage and promote the harassment, the bullying, um, stalking me
Mhm.
and my family. It's definitely the head snakes, as I call it.
Right.
Um, their behavior was just disgusting. Um, and not just one group. There's like 5 communities after me. So
Now the chat. Now we, of course, we're using this stream to mainly talk about the behavior as opposed to getting really into the nitty gritties, because there could be follow up streams on this particular issue. Um, Obviously, yes, I understand. The chat is very, very skeptical. Again, I do
right,
understand why. And yes, I am expecting backlash from this.
me too. But I have provided truth. You have seen the documents. You have caught things that I didn't foresee that does um, go with my family. I confirmed it with my family. It all ties in again with the strawberry, the abuse,
Okay,
all of it.
okay. At least some of it from what we've uncovered seems suggestive of that. At least under the reasonable, and it's not the strongest
Right.
clause, but under the
Yeah.
reasonable doubt clause, at least circumstantially, there is evidence to suggest some of it, some of it.
Well,
Now,
unfortunately though, him being passed away, I
mhm.
can't try him in courts, and I
No,
can't get
definitely, definitely.
right. Yeah,
But
it's harder being deceased.
but but with regards to these other groups, maybe you could find out some other connection somewhere down the line, because who knows when it comes to these issues. Now, a lot of the chat is saying things like, you haven't provided documents, you haven't done this and that. Are you willing to go public with these experiences and actually publish some of the documents that are, if they're not
Well,
too
actually,
incriminating?
yeah, actually, I had my first channel. I had a lot on there, and the ones
Mhm.
that want me to be quiet, they had me straight and took down. Because why? I had exposed the truth of my own abuse, my family, and the adult bullies that had a hate campaign against me, and they had me shut up, they think. And
Right.
therefore, the main things were revealed on my first channel. But again,
But
it's gone.
in fragments, and of course, you at the time you weren't, well, you were more emotional, you were in a heightened state of emotion because of
I was
a lot.
emotional, yes. I was screaming at people because I was very pissed off.
Mhm, mhm.
I was new to YouTube,
Yes,
and
it was.
the
I remember it being your first channel as well, like your
yeah,
very, very first.
MGTOW got involved. Yes, I got involved in MGTOW with someone,
May I
and
ask, how did you get involved within MGTOW? What exactly happened?
basically, there's actually 5 key points not discussed with a certain person that interviewed me. It came
Right.
down to one subject, and it was not a good interview because I was not prepared correctly.
Mm.
Um, I got blindsided, and I just reacted the wrong way. Um, 5 key points. I think one or two were discussed, but mainly it was pushed to one, and it just did not work out the way I thought it would. I had course
Right.
truth, and yeah, I learned my lesson on certain issues. But the thing was, my oldest daughter, um, a man in another state, was a possible pedophile. There
But
was actually,
was this confirmed though? Was this confirmed? Was he a confirmed
well, by
pedophile?
the actions of the actions of the person was the officer did take photographs and reports of the conversation. I did tell the officer it was me because I didn't want my daughter talking to him directly. Um, so as a parent, for me, why would I have my daughter talking to this person, this grown man's married, got a kid? So I did tell them it was me.
Mm.
Um, I was told over the phone by dispatch a cop would call me. They first called me and told me that somebody en route would get to me. They're very busy. I said, okay, not a big deal. They told me to get the evidence. So in a way, I did lure him in for evidence for the report.
Mhm.
As a parent, I did what I could do to protect my daughter and others. Now, I did ask certain questions again for evidence for the intentions of being a
Right.
possible pedophile, and it backfired, yes, but on the way of it being as a mother, I guess, I did the right thing. I had a witness in my house. The witness did see what happened. The officer did say
Does
that
does
he
the
was.
witness does the witness have like physical proof? Hold on, someone's at my door. I'll be right back in a second, guys. Give me a
Okay.
sec. Okay. Oh, it was my roommate. Apologies, guys. Okay, so you're claiming that you had a witness, but did the witness ever testify, or was there ever a written
No,
statement?
they are in Florida, different state. So there's a lot of red tape with that. I did investigate my lawyer with that issue. Being in Florida, it's not easy, and I'm still trying to get this crap done with Florida, and their attorneys, because it's her testimony first of all, and I guess I got to subpoena her to court, I guess,
Right.
and
And is
it's
that in the process? Is that actually in the process of being subpoenaed,
last
or
week I talked to her about this and talked to authorities, and has to be my state where I and my kid live at. It's the main thing is Tennessee. So I have talked to lawyers and again, Florida, the cops there. I'm trying to get all this course done. Arizona, at some point, they did call me. They called their captain and detective,
Mhm.
and I guess an hour later they called me back and told me the man does seem to have weird behavior, a possible pedophile behavior,
So
and
he fits the
yeah, according to Arizona, yes,
profile according to
yes,
the Arizona Police Department.
yeah.
He fits the
My
profiling of
yes, my
right.
mistake was that I said hello first, but the first attempt was this: the man did send her a request for a message. She did mess up and hit accept. When that happened, she made a mistake. Okay, so should
Mhm.
she always pay for this crap? No, but she messed up. So I called again them on my phone. My witness saw all of this going on,
Mhm.
and I told the cop again, my house, photographs, reports were done. The cop told me I did the right thing as a parent. Told me, block him, don't talk to him now. I'm gonna leave out your house. I'll have the captain and detective call you within 4 or 5 days. Never happened. I had no word, nothing. The cop told me it was very disturbing what the guy told me on the phone. He wanted to meet my daughter, wanted to travel. He asked her if she had a camera. He asked her, as a me, daughter's, of course, phone, ever saw a big penis. Disgusting. The cop said he was disturbed as his father, very disturbed, and told me, I understand you got the evidence for the reports, but don't do this ever again because it could lead to a big backfire on you. I said, yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's fine. Okay.
You know what I mean? I learned then, don't ever do it again. Go to someone else immediately and provide the information. So, I mean, I made a big boo-boo, but as a parent, I did what I had to do. So, your mother and father, it's just, it's there. You gotta say, well, what can I do with this?
Right.
It
Now,
went to the system.
I wanna ask you, because these are obviously different separate legal issues, and we could get like deeper and deeper into it, but I don't plan to, not at least for this live stream. Um, Now, you are a woman who does support MGTOW. Can you actually tell me what led you to that conviction, or what events have led to that conviction?
From the guy in Arizona, you mean?
No, no, no. I mean, as in you supporting MGTOW, because like
Oh, okay,
these
sorry,
are
wrong thing.
we're getting into legal issues here, and I don't
Right,
want to do that.
MGTOW. I have made a truce somebody
Mhm.
that actually roasted my butt. For I made some mistakes and they roasted me
He
for
roasted
a
me
long
too for
time.
my fuckload of mistakes.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes, and so I was roasted big time. The more I kept in defense of myself and showed proof, I got more and more roasted, and I learned now I didn't make a lot of mistakes. So me and him made a truce,
Mhm.
and we are civil. We're not trying to attack one another. I do understand MGTOW a lot more than what they assume I do. I've been in connection with MGTOW since August, and you know that,
August
obviously.
2017. August
Yes,
2017. Mainly through myself, Red Bull Jack, and a select few other content creators. And you obviously have direct contact with at least some of us. Um,
yes.
so what about it do you support the most? Because I mean, doesn't it go against your interests as a woman? Doesn't it go against your interests as a woman per se?
Um, I understand because I have seen men get messed over by women. There are bad mothers out there that
Hmm.
don't take care of their kids,
Right.
abusing, hitting, sexual abuse, starvation, living
Physically
conditions.
witnessed this or heard about
I
this,
I
had
have
seen
I have
testimonies
friends in
about it?
Florida and Texas. Yes, the men went to court
Mhm.
and got the child
Right.
full custody, or some as joint custody. It kind of depends on the state and their rules, and it's different every state. In my state here, I have seen men get custody of their child, and the mother has to pay custody. Um, Women have used men, but a lot of midtowners assume I'm also that kind of boat, and I'm not.
Mhm.
So I don't abuse my children to get custody of the other person. That's
No,
not how
and
I
that's
am.
not what I'm
Well,
claiming
they
though.
had
You
me
you said that you've
accused of that in the
seen this
past.
happen with people.
Yes, I have
Mhm.
friends that are males who, just of course males, just we're just friends, have children. One guy in Tennessee's got 4 kids, all
Right.
custody. Grandparents in Tennessee, grandparents can get full custody of their grandkids until maybe the woman um, goes to rehab, gets whatever has to, the court decides for the woman.
Mhm.
One guy here in Tennessee has 2 kids. The mother
Right.
is in rehab right now.
Mhm.
Um, Therefore, every state, different laws, different rules.
Right.
It's what the court says. I don't know. It's all different. Um, it's hard on some men because when you're in actual jail, if they're in jail, you get no money, obviously, when they're in jail. Out of jail, they must pay a state fine. And
Right.
if the court says, uh, pay this or go these kind of classes for your probation, you must go or you're in trouble for breaking it, obviously. So I have seen men struggle here. And the
Mhm.
women are partiers, they're druggies, meth heads, they don't care.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and it's harder for them. And I've seen women cheat on their men,
Mhm.
and I get why men go their own way. I do get this.
So
Um,
you think of it as a more nuanced ideology than what the mainstream media tries to show us, because MGTOW in 2019 obviously is becoming far more prevalent than it was even 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Um, do you think that MGTOW is indeed like a hate movement as the SPLC claims that we are, or do you consider MGTOW just to be a walk away from the system?
I do see as leaving the system. I think that a lot of men, they don't want to get married or have kids. Um, Great, awesome. That's their course of belief. I'm not against that.
Right.
And there are women that don't want to get married, have kids, only a career. So a lot of the media does not portray truth. They have a half truth,
Mhm.
and they'll bash the males. Oh,
Yes.
bad fathers. Also women, but I have seen both, and I think again, you all have your own beliefs, your own opinions, and
Well,
you
by
want to
by
have that
nature, and that's
lifestyle.
why I think that's as a former MGTOW content creator myself, I was MGTOW Menace, later renamed Menace Media. For those of you who don't know, yes, I was that tranny, one of the trannies in MGTOW, later also called Nadia's News Network. That was my third channel rebranding. Um, I find with MGTOW is that with as an ideology, because the going your own way part is very open to interpretation in terms of philosophy and practice. So yes, it was MGTOW knowledge. That was me, and it is. I call it very eclectic. It's quite eclectic in nature because people borrow from a lot of other philosophies and ideas, and it kind of gets melded into the going your own way part, not in the philosophical sense, but in the practical sense. And that's far more nuanced and harder to judge. And that I find that's where a lot of misunderstanding is between between the mainstream media, women coming into MGTOW now asking questions, being like, "What the heck? Why do these men feel this way about us? This is confusing me." And then, of course, other people coming into the pot too, because this is a very complex issue. MGTOW I consider to be a sign of the times, and that biblical, I forget which biblical verse it is because I myself am a Christian too. The biblical verse that the enmity between the man and the woman should be drawn between like the sweat of his brow and the boot of the heel, something along those lines. MGTOW is a sign of that. I consider MGTOW to be a sign, and some of you guys in the chat may disagree. Um, But Sharon, what was your impression of MGTOW since you've obviously come across this real fringe group of people back in 2017?
At first, I thought, being of course new to YouTube and my own content and MGTOW, I assumed from what I've seen, they all were hating women. They wanted them to die. They were just hateful, uh, male feminists, I guess.
Male
But I thought,
feminists.
yes,
Yep.
yes. I have seen some that are really cool.
Mhm.
Some hate women. They they do hate. I've seen some hate women. Period. They hate them, and
But within the community, the ones that do hate women have been called out, and
yes,
actually last week with Global Man MGTOW, he was called out by both Hammerhand and Mr. Hate Vicious for condoning doxing. And he even had a comment where he was saying that women should be
Yes.
raped and shit. And I've got the screenshots of it too.
I do follow Hate Vicious. I do follow. I'm not subbed yet, but I have seen some of his videos. A lot of truth there. It's there.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think then about MGTOWs like Mr. Hate Vicious that are a little bit more moderate because they're obviously much more tactful with women? People like Mr. Hate Vicious, say Hammerhand, MGTOWs like that.
Mr. Hate Vicious, from what I've seen, does not want people or women like Rose in, I guess, MGTOW period. Does not want the drama of the women. Does not want they fighting MGTOWers from a woman. I don't know. From what I've seen, though, again, he did not like how she did things, I guess. So they don't want all this women making people fight against one another, causing drama with, one content, creator, next one. And he's right, though, because I think that you're trying to piss off people left and right on purpose and causing drama is uncalled for. It is just drama. So I do agree with him that it's just it's not needed. I'm different. I'm not on here to piss off MGTOWers and on purposely go blah 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 to you. It's just what I've been through since August, and I have a connection with MGTOW. So and again, it's not MGTOW, it's MGTOW.
Yeah, that's right. The likes of like Lauren and Crystal Swirls. It's
Axelrod did give
not
yeah.
Mag.
She made me laugh.
By the
Axelrod,
way.
she's trying.
MGTOW.
She's trying to understand it. She's Axelrod is trying to understand MGTOW and her views or her opinions. Of course, it's her own opinions.
Yeah.
But she wants to respect it. I believe her. But it's just again,
well, the philosophy itself is very simple. I mean, the philosophy itself is it was codified, or at least the main tenets were codified by expat unchained. I'm tongue tied today. Expat Unchained. And he wrote an article back in 2016, I believe, sometime in April. I've reviewed that article under my Epistemology of MGTOW video. If you guys want to watch that, it is available. But basically, the tenets are, don't marry, don't cohabitate with women, don't share your resources with them. We are not your providers. We are not your protectors. We're not your sex objects, essentially. And that is a walk away from the system. And in practice, to me, I think that means that it is a walk, not a war. Walk, not a war. Obviously, some MGTOW are a bit more militant with that approach, but to me, those tenets will always be consistent among those that are monks, those that are, I guess, those that do they call them the pump and dumpers, the P&Ds, the pump and dumpers.
Right. I've heard
and then,
that
of course,
too.
those that actually casually date with women. Some do that, but then, of course, you have your red pill rages, which are, I think of them as either in this cathartic state from, again, the system. They're in a cathartic state. They're trying to release and express themselves, and I think some of their rage is actually an expression of sovereignty, their masculine sovereignty. Now, with the meaning of sovereignty, I'm basing this off the more political definition under the Encyclopedia Britannica here, but basically sovereignty as the full right of power of a governing body over itself without any interference from outside sources or bodies. And in this context, I believe these men who are trying to find their own identities are seeking to obtain their masculinity without feminist influence. So therefore, that definition does apply. What do you then think of these younger MGTOWs? Because there's obviously more and more younger pools of MGTOWs coming in, and some people are other people. for different reasons, their own personal politics. What's your take on these younger MGTOW that I'm not going to name them here. I'm in contact with them too.
Right. I course mean no disrespect to any of them that they're on here and friends and people. I just want to say that they have their own choice. They have their opinions. I think there is, in my experience with some of these younger ones, they do not understand some women that have gone through these kind of things. A lot of women do yell "Me Too." They have lied.
Yes. There's even a
have
book
lied.
about it. There's even a book called "Damn, Destroy a Man Now" by Angela Confidential. You can actually get it on
Yes,
Amazon.
women have lied
On
on
how
Me
to
Too
Me Too
movement.
people. Yes,
Yes,
and this
they're
was spearheaded. This was indeed spearheaded by Asia Argento, I believe, to
right.
denounce Harvey Weinstein over relations that they have and hadn't had before. And now she's like, "Oh, I regret it." This was spearheaded by the mainstream? Ironically, I don't even think it was spearheaded by the feminist lobby.
Right.
Myself,
I
that's my
agree.
impression of it.
No, I agree to that too. We've had these discussions behind the scenes that I agree to this because there's just so much out there. They assume when a woman is a survivor of CSA that, oh, we're sob stories, we all cry rape, and we're liars. And there are liars out there
Right.
that want the attention. I am not one that lies about my abuse. I'm actually an activist. What I do is raise awareness that women do lie, but also there are people out there like me who had the experience. And
Right.
a lot of MGTOWers, I believe, well, Sharon is just a sob story. That's their opinion. That's fine. That's cool.
But at the same time, on the flip side of it, like personal politics aside and the whole finger pointing aside from back
Right.
then, it actually shows that MGTOW is willing to adapt in the sense that MGTOW could benefit from having some women that are properly vetted. I know I sound like an anti-MGTOW here. Some women that are, I guess, campaigning against hashtag Me Too, but not against, like, I don't mean against like the CSA stuff.
Well, I don't
Working with
understand why there's no men Me Too, because men have been abused as children. And I also on my channel I had made a video that men should be brought up and should be helped because it shouldn't be all about women. It's about
well,
also men.
well, the thing is with the issues with men, I think it is also being brought to light, but at a far slower pace. I mean, there was a
Right.
book
Right.
that was actually released only in December last year, by Bettina Arnott, called hashtag Men Too. There is a hashtag Men Too movement out. And I've also read that something that around, according to the US crime statistics, that roughly just as many men are raped and sexually molested by women, but the reports that go into the police are something around 60 to 70% left. It's a really, really high figure. There it is there.
I've not heard about that, but I will get into that because I mean it sounds awesome.
It was covered in, I forget which article it was. It was covered in it was covered recently this year into female pedophiles.
Would it be a good thing, you think, in your opinion, to have that possibly on my channel one day to announce that men should be recognized and help to say this is happening to men too, and not boohoo all women. Women do lie again. Boohoo women lie, but a lot of women are actually getting hurt out there, not being heard. And men have been raped. They have been beaten by women, by other men. I feel like even Miss Milano out there in Hollywood, she's not
Yes.
sane. Men are getting hurt. I know
Well,
guys
Miss
that
Milano too was apparently married to some CIA
she is married to CIA. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
as
Yep.
well, so she is kind of in the system as is. Now,
She will cut. Well, she cover up a lot of shit though. Her covering up things is disgusting. I've seen her cover up things on the media. They'll go on there and protest for women, but I told on my own channel, men should be exposed by her as far as helping other men, and they're like, "Oh, do that. No, no sex with your husbands. No more sex." What does that get anybody around here? We need to make awareness that men get hurt and children, boys and girls. The word is also boys should
mhm.
be included in this. And no one in Hollywood I see is saying men get hurt. You see you see Rose McGowan saying women, 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 right? It happens. But what about the men who are innocent boys that grew up that
Well,
were
they're typically underrepresented, at least in, I think, the LA crime statistics are the ones that I read.
oh
They're
okay, yeah.
really underrepresented up to, I think, up to 75%. So it's a really high figure. It's a disgustingly high figure.
There were some
Now,
men that got raped earlier. Not sure you saw this. There were some men that got raped by a famous guy, and they came forward, I think, but I've not heard a lot about this. And again, they only want to cover the
mhm.
women, not the men.
Oh yes,
And
definitely in media representation,
yes,
it is covered, and that would be an interesting study to do to see um, how much representation of women are covered in media according to rape cases and rape accusations compared to the men.
right.
Now, of course, John Rice has actually got an interesting comment here. I know that you guys have kind of been going a little bit back and forth-ish in the chat. I'm not going to get involved in that. I just want to note that John Rice claims that Me Too is a stop. And then, of course, MGTOW Absolute Knowledge here has a valid point. Men don't become powerful by being victims, which is true, because men, by nature, are the hunters. We're the hunters. We are the
This is
builders.
true. I agree that. I can agree that, yes.
And sociologically, in many, many, many academic studies, that's proven time and time and time again. Is also claiming women become powerful by being victims within the modern context, within the postmodern context. Postmodern context, third wave
Uh,
feminism.
my opinion about that is I do agree with what he says. That statement.
Mhm.
Um, but that's why it does also say men should be the breadwinners of the house and the powerful hunters. They're masculine protectors of women. If you are married, if you are married though to your wife, you are the protector, again, the breadwinner, and
So
that's how it's supposed to be.
so you consider yourself to be, I guess, somewhat of an ally, a MGTOW ally, if I were to put it on a political
Yeah,
spectrum.
I don't hate nobody in MGTOW. Again, I
Right.
agree some of the opinions, some of the theories. I do understand. Again,
Mhm.
we've been friends for a while, and I respect you and you me, and I get what's going on. Even if I don't agree with someone's theory and MGTOW, I don't go and just bash them because
Yes.
it's just drama.
Well,
Um,
as I say, all shame, no game, right? Because MGTOWs want facts, MGTOWs want
well,
logic,
for
MGTOWs
me,
want
it's more a
rhetoric.
learning tool to learn from them than to
Mhm.
bash them. I have asked them, please explain more what you feel. If they're going to respect me in some kind of way and say, I'll talk to you about this, and I want to hear them out. You
Right.
know, I have been in connection with MGTOW again since August, so I have learned a lot in these months, almost a year now.
Mhm.
Again, Axelrod wants to know more about it.
Yep.
That's fine, but some men will not talk to her or me. Again, that's fine
Well,
too.
that to me again is not an it's not it's two issues. That to me, when channels react that way, it's actually two issues at least within the political sense of things. Again, I think it also is connected to sovereignty, where MGTOW channels under the Stephen D. Krasner definition of sovereignty that this is an act of online domestic sovereignty. And I'll give the definition in the chat by Stephen D. Krasner. Actual control over a state exercised by an authority organized within his state. Now, the state being, in this instance, their YouTube channels and their voice in relation to, say, like other presences.
Someone in the chat had mentioned similar that with Travolta and people in power in Hollywood. I do agree that
Yes.
people that high standards have touched boys,
Yes.
raped and molested women also.
Yes.
The high actors are protected by high people. It is, of course, true. Travolta, I have heard about that. I don't know a lot more about that issue, but I have heard somewhat of the issue with Travolta. Again, he's in Scientology, and that, what I call cult, will protect him and Tom Cruise. And
well, I thought
it's
too
deeper.
that cults like that, like on the Hollywood issue, cults like that are connected to maybe not the groups, the direct groups, but like the subsets of Ordo, OTO, the OTO, Ordo Templar Orientis, I think, which was one of the Crowleyan offshoots or pre-Crowleyan offshoots, if I'm not mistaken. In the
someone
sense.
on Facebook messaged me and asked me to talk about Bill Cosby. My opinion.
No,
okay.
I want to take this back towards the red pill group, because obviously,
right,
men and women are merging more and more in the manosphere. The manosphere is exploding immensely. Like this shit's almost about. I argue that it is about to go to It is about to go mainstream, but the mainstream media won't promote it. But
I agree.
By the psychology of a lot of people on like Reddit and that MGTOW is becoming much more mainstream. And I think too there is another issue, there's another agenda here connected to the population agenda and weakening the domestic Western countries first, and then importing feminism to other countries to lower the birth rates, lower the birth rates, educate the women, lower the birth rates, increase competition, increase taxation, crash some of the economies from within, and then, of course, World War III. This is a preset to that. This is all part of a bigger agenda. And feminism, too, feminism and the empowerment of women is part of Agenda 21. If you look at the documentation, I believe it's United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 8. If I recall correctly. And again, the PBS has called this out on TFM's video, and this is connected with decreasing birth rates. Conspiracy or not, that's what the documentation points to, and PBS again is too. Now, as a red-pilled woman who has come across these red-pill groups, do you think then that it's viable for some women to be allies of MGTOW, because then the question of the legitimacy of MGTOW isn't only about men versus women, but it's actually like women can give men, sorry, how do I phrase this in a better way? Women can help make the mainstream realize that we are not all women haters as they make us out to be.
I do agree.
And then, of course, some of the transgenders like Sayomi, who now goes by the name of Miss Mystery, Sayomi also shows that the MGTOW movement is just as diverse as left.
This goes deeper because, see, for me, being of Christian faith, people wouldn't want to talk to anyone transgender or gay, period. And being MGTOW, a lot of Christians wouldn't agree to what I'm even doing. But as a Christian, I must love people, accept them for who they are. I've never bashed really Sonomi. We had a little issue in the past, just a little bit of trolling here and there.
Yeah,
but I
but
never just said things, you know.
samey trolls from time to time.
I
I've known
know,
Naomi for over a year.
but
Samey
she
trolls from
respects
time
me
to time.
to a point where knows what I am of my faith, and she even doesn't really bash me in my faith. Um, at personal level, getting to know me, I'm not like the other Christians or other women.
Well, Chris,
You know,
I find with the mainstream Christians, and this is an opinion, is mainstream Christians judge by the law. Therefore, they say, you shall not lay with another man as you would a woman, blah 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 blah
right,
blah. And they
right,
respect the law, but they're not coming from a higher form of consciousness because, and this is why I quantified the soul according to the Greek translation, that the Greeks at least say that the psyche is the soul, and they've tried to
right.
quantify that. Therefore, if you really approach the Judaic Christian law properly, you would love one another as Christ has loved you, and you would love, God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, your body, your spirit, as written in Matthew and also Luke.
Mm-hmm.
From what I
Correct.
recall, it's been a while since I've read it, but I've went to
Well,
two Catholic schools myself. Um, yeah, fuck feminism, says Steve
well,
Colin.
see,
I only deal with conservative women
you
only.
and me, yeah, you and me being an example here. We've been friends for a while, and I've never come out and just bashed you when you were going through what you were going through,
Well,
transitioning.
that was,
So,
yeah,
see, it
back
shows
then. Back
people.
then, I
Back
was
then, yes,
transitioning
back
male to
then,
female from Dennis
right.
to
And
Nadia
in the past,
Faith.
yes. So, as personal level as me, as a Christian, I first never had bashed you as a Christian. Number two, I just see no point in doing it because you misjudge people,
Mhm.
but just judging people automatically, like me, I've been misjudged a lot, and they pursue me as, oh, you're just a crazy bitch. I'm not. And oh, Dennis is a trans crazy dude. You're not. It's not respectful. I don't know. It's about respectfulness. You have to get to know somebody because you just judge them automatically.
Mhm.
They've gone through the same things I've gone through. And
I'll
I'm like,
be
wow.
that later in
So,
another live stream, and I have had my suspicions about my family for a while.
right. You
Um,
did. Yes, you did.
Now, speaking of that topic, since we've gone there, um, because I've been to Edinburgh Castle in person with my family when I was back in 2005. Now, your ancestrally, okay, not directly, ancestrally, your ancestors apparently are connected to my ancestors from my foster family on my mum's side. And we've
Yes, it's
seen this.
true.
Now, I've seen in the Edinburgh archives that the Hensley family was one of the first orders of, and you confirm this too, that this goes as far back as the House of Henry, I believe. This is the House of Henry.
Yes.
Now, the Hensley family, from what I remember, is under the order of the knights and the nobles, but it was within the noble courtiers of the House of Henry. But then the other H's, like the Hudsons, were connected with the dragoons genealogically. They're connected with the dragoons. Some of my mum's clan are connected with the dragoons indirectly, and they were the second or the third order of the house of the one with the tree. Was the one with the tree, the golden tree, Mayflower. They all fall under the House of Mayflower.
Yes, this is true. Again,
and
I confirm all this today. Yep.
and like for you personally, I think some of this would be interesting to look into, because the House of Mayflower and Hensley and Hudson could very well have ancestral ties. I'm not saying they have direct ties, ancestral ties to the one wing of the deep state, at least in the historical sense. And
Right.
this is basically is as deep as we have uncovered so far. Whether or not there are these other organizations, I don't think either one of us are going to truly know that.
Right. Some of my family members, of course, have passed on that would know information more deep, but they're of course passed on. So what I got today was confirmed a lot of things that again, Scottish Hensleys, also that we are of noble blood. So my
Potentially, yes.
yes,
Potentially, yes. And same
yes,
as my
so
foster
yeah,
mum. I believe my mum was potentially an ancestor of someone of noble blood, and same as my foster father too, because my foster father's last name is a Jesuit name
right.
as well.
My ancestors came from, of course, England off the Mayflower, and from what I gathered, that you know, noble blood,
Mhm.
and they told me today they are about 95% sure that they were of the court. They were
Yes.
highly respected. They had wealth. Um, again, highly respected. They were well known in the area,
Mhm.
community, the village, whatever. They were they were like awesome from what I've heard. It's just that was how it was being noble. You
Yeah.
were granted different I don't know what the word is, whatever it's called, I guess a privileges. Um and it's very possible that the Hudsons were friends with my family, all
Or
mingling
at least
together,
intermarried with them, because apparently you said
Yes.
too that at least 90% of the Hudsons are also Mayflowers or under the Mayflower genealogy.
Yes. So it's a big deal to find out from yesterday. All this big circle of things have been like busted open to say, well, I had information in my family, and now this makes sense from what Dennis, of course, found,
Mhm.
because it does. Again, a puzzle pieces have been restored, and I'm
Or at
not
least
nuts.
some of them have been brought to light. At least some of them have been brought to light.
Lot of revealing, yes, because it makes more sense also why we've had this bond, me and you, that connection, parallel connection, because again,
Mhm.
when you're that connection to you, for me, it's also Scotland. Is I have family that are
Yeah.
Scottish,
Yes.
so it makes sense now why I'm like I love Scotland, the people, the history, um, it's passionate things. It draws you in, and you wonder why, and a reason why
Yeah.
you're like, wow, I love this kind of topic, and it's like, yeah, because you are Indian, Sharon, you are Scottish, and you are English noble blood. So I'm like, yes.
And this may also be connected to the notion or the concept of genetic memory as well, that natural curiosity
Right.
has carried on across the genealogy and the bloodline. And we also suspect too, I'm not going to mention his name, not his channel name. We also suspect too that there's another MGTOW content creator who has ties with either the House of I mean not Edward, the House of Henry, or either the houses of Nottingham, houses of Nottingham, and also the houses of who's the other one? Nottingham and Edward, I think Edward, or even the
Right.
Franks, possibly the Franks. It may not be an English house. Um, so yeah, it does go deep. These genealogical studies do go deep. And again, the abuse, the purpose of this stream isn't to point the finger. I'm not pointing the finger at the Masons per se, even though the title is there. I can change that. But the circumstances are very, very interesting
Yes, we're
in
not trying to
hindsight.
attack Masons. We're not trying to attack Masons. We're not trying to attack MGTOW. We're not trying to attack anybody. It's what we have gathered. It's what I have been through,
And this
Dennis has
research too is
confirmed
not
this.
conclusive either. We're not claiming that this research is conclusive. We're
We
just
we,
saying
we are still researching. Yes,
that this is the
me and
process.
Dennis have a project. No, we're going through this. My family, we are still trying to get all this gathered. So what I have is already kind of like bomb ass because I'm like Patsy Cline. You have the Indians with Mayflower. It's like wow. So it's just
Mhm.
like amazing how Dennis is a very intelligent person. He just like was like bam, 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 like oh my god, and
Well,
a
the thing is,
crazy.
and this is something that I've begun to disclose a bit about my professional background. Is like, look, I am a teacher by trade, and I did major in history. History was my major. But that aside, my original intentions back in 2013 were to gather intelligence. I was training to be an ASIO officer for domestic counterterrorism. I was a candidate in ASIO a few years back, but I declined the application because I was beginning to question no, these are all facts. I was beginning to question not just the nature of my family too, but also the nature of why the world was what it is,
Mm-hmm.
which does run along similar themes to Sharon's testimony here.
Yes. Also, military. The other YouTuber I talked to today confirmed the symbolically of the strawberry and Wicca. Obviously, we covered that, but she also told me today that when you have someone, a male, that's a high figure, like the first two men in my family were my grandpa, and my father, obviously. She asked me, "Is he military?" I said, "Yes." There you go. Military men have that connection with masonry.
Say some do, and
Yes,
historically this is true. Historically, this is true.
in the 50s, yeah, in the 50s, back then, experiments going on, a lot of BS. It gets a lot deeper, she said, a lot more deeper. People don't even understand the concept, how deeper it can get, because in the 50s, a different time back then, a
Mhm.
slower pace of time. You didn't have the reports of child abuse, even incest. It's a
Yes,
hush hush. Yeah, yeah, hush hush, don't say anything.
conform and perform, conform and perform,
And again,
conform
they,
and
they
perform.
banned you. If you're gonna try to, they try to ban you and shut you up of the truth. And when you have the truth, they want to try to do anything to you to quiet you, to say, nope, you're crazy.
And as much as some people may or may not believe in the whole Jesus thing, as much as people may or may not believe in the whole Jesus thing, look, whether or not you're an atheist, that doesn't really matter. Um, Suspect, at least with the case of someone like Jesus, is that he was calling out the deep state of his day, to borrow that modern term. He was calling out the deep state of his day. He called out the temple usury when he stormed the temple. I believe that's what that was about. I also believe too that the reason why there's no witnesses that have written the testimonies in the Bible apart from the apostles, and that was codified or canonized under at least the Catholic version, is that that would be too incriminating, and it would uncover the group of the Pharisees that would have been behind that, because I think the Pharisees by then were being influenced by
Also,
another group
it's
from
true.
Sumer
Mm-hmm.
and the line of possibly, I'm not saying this is proven, possibly the line of Esau,
Yes.
the Edomites.
You're correct on that. The Pharisees and the scribes and Pharisees hated Jesus preaching and miracles, and they wanted to kill him. In the end, it was destiny for Christ on the cross to die, but politics, politics and government, because they hated Christ. Um, they hated him. They wanted him, of course, dead, and they were kept telling Pilate, kill him, kill him, kill him.
Mhm.
They hated Christ, and government and politics, and again, it did kill Christ. And I will also say this again: it was his fate for us to to accept Christ, but yes, they did hate him. They wanted him gone. They wanted him just bam, yep, you're gone, dude. So yeah. It was a big hate group, in my opinion.
Or possibly even a radicalized sect of I'm trying to
A
pinpoint it.
coordination. Yeah,
A
coordinated hate
radicalized
group.
sect, a radicalized sect of, say, the
Yes.
likes of because the Jesuit order was not around then. It could either a Sumer group of radicals, or it could have been the rabbinical Wahhabinism.
Well, you had a group of these people, and to me
Fanatics,
also it's
basically
a
Babylonian fanatics or
right.
pre-Babylonian fanatics of those days.
I agree. It's a coordinated hate group. Okay, to modernize this, it's a coordinated hate group that wanted him gone, and they were influenced, but it's out there.
But the point is, whether or not you are an atheist or not, um, some, I'm just saying that some of these groups of people exist, and I'm not referring specifically to Jesus per se. Some of these cults do exist, and they actually have large genealogical ties all the way back, all the way back, all the way back. Now,
Yeah.
I'm going to finish up the interview soon because we are on the hour and a half mark, and we've covered a fair few range of topics of
Right.
discussion, especially rather contentious ones. Um, what are your final thoughts with regards to your view of the red pill, and how has your journey changed you today?
Since August, um, I have learned a lot actually. Personal, my behavior, how to deal with certain things. I learned
Mhm.
how MGTOW, how they feel, how maybe they operate, their opinions about
Yeah.
women. I respect a lot of this. I've in
Mhm.
connection since of course August and MGTOW, so I understand. I get it. I feel like if someone can respect me, just say hi, how are you? Hey, I show them respect and I can be cool with them. Um, they come up to me, oh, I hate you, you should die. Of course, I'm gonna be in the defense. But again, there's respect here and no drama. Um, I've also learned that a lot of awesome people are MGTOW. You may have a differences and opinions, but I do again understand, and I am for a lot of these issues you guys stand for. Me and you never fought, argued. We understand. I understand where you come from, where I
Mhm.
come from. So no need for any kind of bull crap and drama and fighting. It's just know where someone's coming from, whether they're MGTOW, atheist, Christian, Buddha. Respect. Um, don't cause drama. I've
Right,
learned that
right,
too.
right.
My
Mm.
mistakes. I'm human. I made them. Um, and I just feel like you guys have gone a lot further, done a lot of good. I have
Well,
been
at
doing a
least
lot of that.
even though you've had past drama with one particular content creator that a lot of people have had past drama with, self included, um, at least this kind of person has tried to call out things like 9/11 pedophiles and that on other talk shows too.
Right.
And I do give him credit for
Yeah.
that. So Mad Shangy, the Mad Shangy show, I will name you. I do give you credit for that, and I do appreciate you as well for reconciling our differences as well.
Yeah, me and Shangy have been civil. People get mad or jealous about us and want us to fight and bash one another. But I do have no issues with him. Again, civil.
Mhm.
We have jokes about, oh yeah, I married him. It's just jokes.
Yeah,
People get offended.
that's all joke. I know
It's
that's all
all
joke.
yeah, it's all a big
It's
joke.
all in joke. It's all in jest. It's all
Yeah, MGTOW people get mad at me. I'm like, it's just
This
jokingly.
is
I
joke. But
have
there,
respect for
there are
MGTOW.
re MGTOW. We call them re MGTOW based off the Peppy meme. There are re
Right.
MGTOW that do exist. Re being short for retarded.
But yeah, but Shaggy and me, we're good. We're civil. Um, I have learned a lot from him. They say, "Oh, he roasted you." Yes, he did. in the past, and we come beyond that. We have made a truce, and
Yeah.
again, we're civil. So I learned a
And
lot from him, how he works
and
too.
I think too, with conservative women being around MGTOW, because obviously they're hearing our pleas more and more. I think there could be agreements with some of them. I won't say a network of them, but at least some of them individually.
Right,
That if say like some women agree to keep off certain MGTOW channels, and then of course there are women that are going to campaign against the slander in things like hashtag Me Too, the slander in the divorce courts, if they're actually if they're activists against the divorce courts, and then of course you've got trans people as well that are also affected by this
right. This is true.
as well. Um, it's it does add more legitimacy to MGTOW in the long term, and of course I understand when balancing that off with sovereignty and the masculine sovereignty of, look, this is a man space, this is the manosphere, this is MGTOW talk, this is for men. That's fine. If women are willing to agree to that, but also campaign against certain things that do affect MGTOW as a whole, I think there
Right.
could be cooperation with some women, not all.
Yeah, I would say a line must be drawn because,
Mhm.
like me, I have shown respect to several people in MGTOW. Um, you have to show them respect and understand where they're coming from.
Yes.
Now, these women might not understand. Oh, they hate all women. They don't all hate women, and they're not all jerks. It's just their lifestyle and what they want. If a woman wants to marry a man, have kids, I mean, I have kids. Well, then
Mhm.
the women should not go ahead and just bash them. They should get to understand the person, maybe personal level, maybe, and say, okay, I'm so and so. Okay, you're cool, but no drama. Shangy's not want drama.
No, he doesn't.
And
He doesn't. He
right,
doesn't. And
right.
his
And
convictions have changed between the period from last year to the time that I've known him now. I would say his convictions have definitely changed.
yes, I give him a lot of props.
And
Yeah,
he is someone, look, in my
I,
personal opinion, he is someone that has a strong sense of justice.
right.
Is about it. He's pretty controversial, but at the same time, he has incredible investigative skills. And I
I can
think
agree. I can agree with this.
it
Yes, I
is an
agree.
asset that he could use not only within MGTOW, but even as like a private investigator. He should do that shit. He'll be very good at it.
I think so too. He has caught a lot of people that have been pedophile behavior. Caught out people that have done this disgusting shit. And
Yes.
like I said, now that I got to know him more through these months, they say, oh, yeah, again, he doxed you and your kids. Look, it's like this, guys. Things happen. Um, I'm not happy that happened to my children, but we made a truce. And you have to know someone on level and say, okay, I made mistakes. Maybe he did too. But at the end of the day, we had no beef. And there's some respect, maybe. I don't know. I am very civil. I want to more respect Shangy. I really do. It's just our past together. It's hard
Yeah.
to retrust, but I am civil again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Shangy has he's not a bad person.
I don't think of
Um,
him as a bad person either. Like, sure,
yeah,
I
I
was
didn't.
very angry at him
Yeah,
with what happened, but that was back
like with
then. That was
you. Yeah,
that
you've
was
had a
back
lot
then.
of
Though I'm not
crap.
going to raise that on this stream. I
Yeah,
can talk
you've
about
had
that
a
at
lot. I've
another
had a
day.
lot go through. So it's where things change. Like no, people can change, and women outside MGTOW that are conservative just scream, "Okay, you're feminist." Males. I
Well, to
did
them
think
it's
this
left
months
and
ago.
right, but MGTOW isn't left or right either. That's
Right.
it's I like I said, it's an eclectic philosophy
Once you're
around there.
thrown to MGTOW, I was kind of thrown into it
You know,
after my
some MGTOW are
interview.
centrists, and
Well,
others
yeah,
lean
yes.
slightly to the old school left, which is considered the modern conservatism. They lean towards the Alex Toynbee type of liberalism.
Well, I volunteered for the interview. I put myself out there in MGTOW, but also I was actually pushed after the interview into MGTOW. I was, of course, roasted and trolled. So I've had more again connection with them. I understand more. Some women don't understand because they're not me. They've not been through this issue, and I have. And I've learned. I researched. I've respected. I know a lot of people in the one group, freaking pill name now, I don't remember, but I am learning about the difference in red pill and the blue and I
The
think purple
black,
maybe,
there's the
black.
I
I'm asking,
I consider the purple pill to be the moderate stance, and I think that's what Lycan Theory's purple pill channel when he was around as the purple pill, Jamie the purple pill, that he was meant to be like the centrist of the pills, the center of being red pill aware, but still choosing to marry at your own will or dating long term relationships at your own will was considered the
right?
line of the purple pill. That's my hunch on it, though. I need to investigate that more before I write about it in my book. Um, but my final thoughts on the matter is like these kinds of CSA abuses. I do hope that people do talk about them more. Yes, we seem, I guess, a bit nutty. Maybe I myself, I am the crackpot guy. I am willing to be the crackpot guy because I already was under the Menace channel anyway. Um, it's important that this does need to be brought to light because if more people do stand up and they make these connections bit by bit, incrementally, bit by bit by bit by bit by bit, then MGTOW, at least in my mind, will also start to uncover the truth because there's other MGTOW like a Savage Reality who does call out the deep states.
Also, there should be maybe a live stream one day to discuss um, what we had discussed about the one video or MGTOW that's a connection to biblical with Adam and Eve, with the man and woman separation.
I'm willing to do a live stream about Revelations, the book of Revelations, and
Right.
the enmity of men and women as well. That'll be a very cool topic to talk about. But I do want to say, look, guys, I'm going to close this. Thank you, Sharon, for your time and your patience as well as your courage to talk about some of your traumatic experiences here. My channel, of course, guys, I don't claim to be exclusively a MGTOW. This is a bachelor channel. I'm trying to be a bit more of a news reporter. I'm learning the processes of that too. But I'm not exclusively a MGTOW channel, but I am sympathetic to MGTOWs myself. And people from the right are welcome here. And if you know other people that do support MGTOW, do bring them onto here. I'd love to chat with you guys. But
Thank you for your time also.
Yep.
Thank you for your time and having me on here discussing my issues and my beliefs, even MGTOW. Any MGTOW that can respect me and my views, that I do agree with you guys on levels. You're free to talk to me, contact me. It's all great. I have no animosity that bash anybody in MGTOW, so I'm cool. I
bash the
understand.
left. Bash the left.
Exactly. I'm very awesome. Dennis knows me for a long time and knows I am cool. I made my mistakes, but I am learning from those mistakes and also in MGTOW. So feel free to contact me. Your opinions, you don't agree with me, you like me, you hate me, it's all fine. I'm great because it's my story, my truth. Dennis here confirmed my stories with the historical issues. It's all there. Again, I'm researching more my family history. I'm doing more studies about, the Scottish Hensleys. Again, we're not trying to attack Masons. We're not trying to attack anybody in MGTOW. It's just what I've been through. So, yeah, no hatred on anybody and no drama. Thank you, Dennis, for your time again. And you're cool. You're a cool guy. And guys, he is very intelligent. So don't slag him, please. He's a really cool guy. So, he's awesome. So, get to know Dennis. So, you're
So
cool as
yeah,
hell.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you very much, Sharon, and thank you too in the chat for your time and your energy. I know again this was a very contentious issue. It was a very, very sensitive issue, and I'm not here to accuse anyone or any group of any one thing. This is just a bit of an up to date and also getting to know people, good or bad. We're all part of the red pill, guys. It is the ultimate red pill is it is the 99% versus the 1%. That's it. Um, those are my final thoughts, guys. Knowledge is power, pursue the truth, and always remember to go your own way and seek that truth, become that truth, live that truth, and you will transcend above what's stopping you. And on that note, I will close. This is Sharon Hensley and Dennis Saliba here on the Bachelor Jaguar channel, and I will be back for future videos. Take care, everyone. Peace.